Hi everyone, so I'm responding to the Unit 4 post regarding the video that we watched and describing how we can assist others recognize and develop their strengths. So I jotted down key notes as I was watching the video by Marcus Buckingham. The main ones that stood out to me were be clear, and clarity is the antidote to anxiety. Here's a couple examples. I'm one of the coaches at the high school for track and field and cross country. Um, in terms of clarity and being clear, at the high school level, when we're doing a lot of fundraisers, if we're not clear on the instruction on how the students present the fundraisers to, outside organizations or parents, then we end up getting the calls and, questions when that can be prevented beforehand just by being clear with them and letting them know the steps and what to say and how to respond. Depending on the fundraiser, being clear, even with staff, just letting them know that, for example, if we're coaching track and we're coming up to a meet day, and being clear with your kids and letting them know what events they're going to be in. That way, it prevents the questions on meet day when we're busy focused on our subgroups. And clarity, I mean, that quote really stood out to me. Clarity is the antidote to anxiety. Even when we're doing workouts, let's say, for example, um, if I'm not clear with what I want and how fast I want a certain workout or how long the rest period is going to be, then some kids, they're freaking out. They overthink things, or, oh, am I going to go too fast? I'm going to go too slow. But if I'm clear at the beginning of how I want certain things, then it kind of relieves that stress load from them. So, and that can be applied not just to track and field. Obviously, it can be applied to management as well. Just being clear and not letting someone have the thoughts in their mind of questions of, am I doing something right? Am I doing something wrong? One of the other big notes I took out was study their heroes. In terms of students, just kind of get to know them and see who they look up to, and then kind of analyze that individual or whoever it may be, and just talk to them and see what it is exactly they like about that specific person, and then that helps you kind of tailor the way you coach and mentor those certain individuals. Engage, that's always important. Eye contact. Just listening. Listening is always a major one of the major points in management and mentoring. Um, and all those last questions that came up towards the end of the video, what was your best day at work the last 3 months? Those really stood out to me. I know I never even really thought about asking people those questions. Or what was your worst day at work in the last 3 months? What was the best manager relationship you've ever had? Those all stood out to me. And then one of the last thoughts in the video: continue to remain optimistic. As leaders, if we go into work dragging, or if we had a long day the day before, and then we put it upon students the following day, if we look exhausted, then they're going to feel exhausted. So we always have to keep our heads up, no matter how down we may be, or if something happened that morning and then I take it out to the track later after school, and if I'm not enthusiastic or if I'm not ready to motivate or mentor people, then they're not going to feel the same way. So it's kind of you get what you put in. So if I'm going to be out there dragging, then I can't expect them to be out there performing if I'm not enthusiastic or about what I'm doing. Set the employee up for success. In terms of coaching staff, give them the tools that they need to be successful. If I have a throws coach, but who doesn't have any implements to train his students, or if I have a coach that doesn't have access to, let's just say, the weight room or restrooms, or any of those examples, I'm already setting them up for failure. So how can I be setting that employee up for success if he has a program laid out of something he wants to do, and if he brings it up to me, and then if I don't do my part on my end to make it happen, then I can't expect that person to be successful in what it is that he's doing. So what else? find out what is unique about a person and capitalize on it. So that just goes in. I think that takes time, just kind of getting to know someone and seeing what it is exactly that makes somebody tick and their interest. And I think just getting to know someone instead of having those relationships when you're just sitting on the bus and you're just staring at each other saying nothing. I mean, it kind of try to engage with conversation and just kind of understand how and what and where they're coming from, and that helps carry conversation along. And and then from there you just start branching off on certain topics or ideas that you may find of similar interest, and from there the relationship starts, and you end up having a successful relationship. So how we can assist others and recognize and develop their strengths. The major one to me is engage. Like I said, just being authentic. Always smiling, always listening. If someone tells you something, one day, try to bring it up the next day or the following week. If there's a certain issue that gets brought up to you, let them know that you're following through with them. Don't just let it go to the side. I found that to be really important. And our athletic director at our high school, he follows through every single day. If I have an issue and I send him a text or I give him a call on something that may be wrong, he follows through with me the next day, or he emails me. We're constantly communicating. I feel like that's our era that we're in now, in terms of lawsuits and him giving us a heads up on what's new. He'll send me a text. Texting now, it seems a little easier sometimes, but obviously, since I'm on campus, I walk in every morning, just to see what's going on or see if anything's changed, transportation issues. It was interesting reading all those transportation policies in our previous unit. So just understanding who we are as people, and being positive and being happy every day, and we're in these positions to develop others and mentor others to eventually take our place and lead and guide, especially if some of us are in the high school position when you're dealing with the youth student population, and these students are eventually going to be our next leaders. So it's important to be positive and motivate them to continue their education and to be leaders. So hopefully that if you guys have any questions regarding track or any kind of administrative questions or fundraising, feel free to message me. So thank you.